Hi guys, today we're going to talk about exporting your animal from the U.S. to the Philippines. We're not going to be able to cover everything, but we'll try to give you an idea of what it takes to bring your dog or cat to the Philippines from America. Also, we're going to cover bringing your animals back to America from the Philippines and the mistakes we made in that process. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So the process to export your dog from America takes a minimum of 90 days. One of the things you need to do is make sure that your dog, or I'm going to say dog throughout this video, because I'm talking about personal experience. So one of the things you want to do is make sure that your dog has visited the veterinarian frequently. Make sure every vaccine is up to date. And in our case, Milo was just over 6 months old when he came to the Philippines, which is the minimum age. You need to be 6 months or older to leave America and come into, I think, any country, but in this case, the Philippines. So what happened was, between 4 months old and 1 year, 4 months, dogs in America get a 1-year vaccination for rabies. After 1 year anniversary of being vaccinated, they then get a 3-year vaccination. And Milo was too young to leave America with that 3-year vaccination. That was mistake number one.
So,
and it's a big mistake.
yeah.
So Milo was born December 13th. He was vaccinated for rabies on April maybe 16th. And also in that case, you get the certificate of vaccination, which you need to take to the veterinarian and give them a copy of it. So Milo was old enough. We probably should have got the 3-year vaccination before we left, but we had no idea that leaving America and staying in the Philippines while the vaccine ran out was going to be such a
Super
problem.
problem, yeah.
It runs out sometime soon, like maybe even today.
April, what is
I
that?
tell you. So the vaccine that we gave Milo ran out April 12th of 2026. We had scheduled our flight home May 1st, 2026. We're already past the 1-year mark at that point. So the process that we went through to bring Milo here, we never thought about the idea of bringing him back home with us, that was an additional process. And that's when this 1-year versus 3-year vaccination comes into play. His vaccine ran out. We had him vaccinated by a local veterinarian here. That dubbed Milo a vaccinated dog from a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a big difference. So this is something that you got to pay attention to, its details, and in your process of coming here to the Philippines, if you're bringing your dog home, there's a process to bring him home as well.
And also, Philippines especially is a high risk, rabies high risk.
Yeah. So I'm going to get to that. So we're still in the process of leaving America with Milo. And as I said, you have to have vaccinations, everyone up to date. He also has to have the animal that you are bringing has to visit the veterinarian at least 90 days in advance and go every month for 3 months prior to leaving America. They have to be dewormed. They have to have flea and tick medicine, and it has to be administered by the veterinarian, or the CBC won't recognize that they were
Accredited.
vaccinated.
It has to be
An
accredited.
accredited veterinarian needs to document that it was given. So that's why they make you go every month for like 3 months. At the end of all that, the veterinarian will be required to do this certificate of health. And this takes about 3 days to a week to get back. It's a little on the expensive side, between
Mhm.
$400 and $500 just for this form to be completed. To recap that, it's very important that your pet has a 3-year vaccination. It's very important to have your dog or your animal visited the vet every month for 3 months prior, and make sure he has documented good health, or he won't be allowed to leave America. Now, to enter the Philippines, you have to do 1 month prior to leaving a SPS import clearance form. You need to present this at the airport. By the way, these other documents, your vaccine, rabies vaccine, your export form, and this clearance to enter the Philippines needs to be with you from the first airport in America all the way through your destination to Manila. Okay, so now when you think about bringing an animal here on an airline, an airplane, they have guidelines, and one of them is your dog has to fit comfortably in a bag this size or smaller. So a Yorkie, a Chihuahua, maybe a Shih Tzu, but anything bigger, they won't accept it on the plane. It has to fit underneath of the seat in front of you and stay there. He cannot come out of the bag. Even if you fly, like we flew into Korea, he had to stay in the bag the whole time. There was no taking him out of the bag to play with them. If your dog is a service animal, not emotional support, but a service animal, and you're on an American flight, Delta, United Airlines, I think Alaska Airlines will fly here. If you're on one of those airlines and you have a service animal, your dog can sit in your lap. If emotional support or just a common pet, they have to be the whole flight in this bag. So now we landed in Manila with Milo in his bag, cooped up, and believe me, that was rough because Milo is a lap dog through and through. If you've seen any of our videos with him in it, he likes to climb up on your shoulder and lay across your neck. But what he doesn't like is to be forced into a bag. So when you bring your animal on a plane, that length of time, you want to take that into consideration. So we arrived in Manila, and we had to take Milo over to the Bureau of Animal Industry.
BAI.
When I went to gather our luggage, and Jen went to the Bureau of Animal Industry and had Milo cleared for entrance into the Philippines. She had to pay, I think, 500 pesos in that
Yeah, it's
neighborhood.
not much.
Wasn't much. She had to show this form that he was registered to come in, and maybe the export certificate from America. But that was pretty simple. Did not take long, and before you know it, we were out and about into the Philippines, and off we went, and we enjoyed the time here in the Philippines with Milo. So we came here with an open schedule. We did not have a return flight home, and we decided at some point, maybe in February, we were going to come home May 1st.
So we booked
So
our ticket
on May 1st, or I'm sorry,
February.
in February, when we decided to come home May 1st, I started looking into the requirements to bring Milo home. And boy, was I surprised what we needed. That's when I learned that the 1-year rabies shot was not going to allow him to re-enter the United States without being quarantined in the United States for 30 days and some additional blood work. So Milo needed to have blood work done, and that blood work is called a titer test. And what it does is it shows that the antibodies of the vaccine for rabies is working in the bloodstream. And if that was done in the U.S., there probably wouldn't have been much of a problem. But we looked high and low for a veterinarian here in the Philippines that could do a titer test, and we did not find any veterinarian that performed that service.
You have to send it the blood test to Manila.
So here's what our dilemma ends up being. It's a lot of money to bring your dog here to the Philippines, or any country, I presume. And it's equally expensive to bring your dog home from the Philippines. My wife and I, we're going to travel back and forth to the Philippines from the United States, probably once a year, every year for 10 years maybe, I don't know. And so what we decided was, if we took Milo home and spent the money to get him there, he was just going to come back again in about 6 months when we come back to the Philippines. So the decision that we made, which is kind of hard for us, is we are going to leave Milo here in the Philippines with a caretaker who also happens to be our godchildren. They will watch Milo while we go back to the U.S., and Milo won't be subject to traveling back and forth until our very last trip. And if we decide at that point Milo is healthy enough to go home, we will take Milo home to the U.S. with us. Okay, so to recap, it's very expensive. It's very time consuming to bring your animal here to the Philippines. And I really think you should think twice about doing it. But now that Milo's here, he's got to stay for the duration. But my wife Jennifer, she wants to come on here and tell you a few thoughts of her experience during this process. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer, and she will tell you a little bit about Milo's living arrangement and things of that nature. And so I hope you got something out of this video. Here comes Jennifer. I'm going to take over the camera duties while she tells you all about her experience with Milo here in the Philippines. Thanks for listening, and I hope you get something out of this video. And if you like the video, give it a thought of subscribing and also sharing the video. Thank you very much.
As you can see, we have Milo here. She grown so much since we have her about 7 months ago. And I really feel that he have a better living situation staying here with my godchildren while we were away. So meanwhile, while here living in the Philippines, before we have Milo neutered, he actually fathered 7 puppies. And I'm going to show you the puppies, that one of the puppies. And this is one of his puppy, one of his offspring. We name her Lily. So meet Lily. This is Milo's offspring. So what's going to happen? Lily is going to stay with them as well. So we have Lily, Milo, and show them Princess. We have little Princess in here. Come on, Princess. Come on, little Princess. And this is their dog already. And this is Princess. She is a Chihuahua, very, very nice Chihuahua. So they're going to be staying here, 3 of them. So at least Milo is not going to be sad because he actually have 2 other doggy, and which is one of them is his daughter. So cute, huh? Look at that. She's 2 months old. And what we did before we left, so this is their home that we're going to be staying. I'm going to show you so that they have place to play. Come on. So this is the front of the house. And if we look in here, so this is the back of the house. Come on, come on, Princess. And we have it fenced. We have it fenced around. So they're going to come here. This is where they're going to do the business. It's really nice because we have fenced the area. They're going to be very safe and secure. So this is where they're going to come and play. So this is a big area that they're going to play around. So this is what we did. And And I'm sure I'm having a hard time. Once Milo is outside, forget it. It's hard to catch him. So I'm gonna have Lily instead. So I'm sure that Milo is gonna be happy with his daughter and his friend Princess. One of his friends Princess. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening with us. So we're gonna be going home in May 1st, and you can see we're not gonna have Milo with us, but she is gonna be in a great, great, great hand. All right, that's all about. I'm going to say bye for now.